This is Wayne Goldsboro Television. Today is the 28th of January, 2015. I'm Wayne Alley.
And I'm Kim Best. Good Wednesday morning, middle of the week.
Oh, boy, it's the middle of the week.
It certainly is.
What does that mean?
Happy middle of the week.
Oh, well, to you as well.
Thank you, sir.
There you go.
Thank you, sir.
Well, let's see. Who's on today's program?
We have Mr. Charlie Ivey. He came on recently, and I had a conversation with him about some new initiatives here in the community. How the Partnership for Children, of course, where he's the executive director.
He is.
They are partnering with several other organizations here locally, and he's going to tell you more details about it. We had a nice long conversation, and you know, the Partnership for Children is such a hidden little gem over on William Street. If you are a parent of a young child or a grandparent of a young child, there is something in that building that they can offer you, and most of their programs are free of charge. And they have more than most of us are aware of. So Charlie's going to tell us about a few.
You know, that's true. I was not aware. I mean, I know a Partnership with the Children because of the business we're in.
Right, exactly.
But haven't talked to Charlie many times, but I didn't realize they have everything they have.
They really do.
They have so many things to offer. Okay,
so check it out.
Today is Data Privacy Day. Data Privacy Day. Are your computers secure?
As far as I know.
As far as I know.
As far as yours?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
You know, you said that triggered something. Data.
Data.
Tomato. Live live.
Right.
It's just a word spelled the same way. People pronounce it different ways depending on how it's used in the sentence. There are so many words that you can pronounce various ways in our vocabulary, and I don't know why I went there, but I just did.
That's okay, but you know, if you take the suffix O-U-G-H,
yes,
as in enough, there are 8 different ways to say it.
Really?
8 different ways.
Can you name them?
No. I could at one time, but not right now. I will. I'll get it all together.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, you do that for me.
Like bow, B-O-U-G-H,
Yes.
is another way.
Dough.
Dough is another. There you go. That's 3 right there. All right. Stay tuned for more.
Isn't that interesting?
It's also National Kazoo Day.
Ah.
Okay, so have fun with your kazoo there. January 28th,
Yes.
the very first, and I mean first, telephone switchboard was installed on this day. The year was 1878.
Where was it installed?
New Haven, Connecticut.
Oh, really?
And
Interesting.
they actually had an operator. And her name, and this is real, was Emma Nutt.
Oh,
I'm serious.
was it really?
Yes, it really was. Her
Oh, my
name
God.
was Ms. Nutt. Miss Emma was the first switchboard operator.
Well, I bet she did a good job. I got teased quite a bit.
She did. She did a great job. That phone company that owned the switchboard had 21 subscribers.
21.
They had 21 people with telephones, which in 1878, you know, you think the phone became patented and invented and then patented and then commercially available in 1876.
But you wonder how many people even lived in that community to say they had 21 subscribers.
Yeah, they may have only had 22 people living there.
Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, was that just for that community? Was it for that city? Was it for that state? We really don't know. I'm asking you way too many questions. He has no idea. Sorry about that.
I don't know.
You're just reading.
What do I look like? Do I look like Al Bell,
Mr.
Alexander?
Information.
I have no idea.
Wayne Information Alley. How about that?
Yeah, no relation to Bowling Alley. Okay, 1878, the very same day, this is not a coincidence now, the Yale News published for the very first time, the newspaper at Yale. Wow. Boy, that's interesting. In 1940, Beat the Band was a popular television program, radio program. It debuted on radio in 1940. The band was that of Ted Weems and his 14-piece orchestra.
Okay.
Ted Weems, very popular during that time. Joined by Elmo, the whistling troubadour Tanner, Elmo Tanner.
When I hear Elmo, I think of Fudd.
I know.
Sorry.
Harry Southkind and Country Washington. One of the other stars of the show would be a barber from Pittsburgh, PA. Who would end up recording many hits of our RCA Victor from 1943 all the way through 1970. His name was Perry Como.
Oh, wow.
One of my favorites. Yeah. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Love Perry Como.
What's one of your favorites that he sang?
Catch a Falling Star, Witch Doctor. There was just so many. He had a TV show at one time as well. He just did all the big hits. Mr. Smooth, I'm telling you, he had the greatest voice.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
I believe it may be time, Mr. Como, to go to our interview. So stay with us.
Our guest today is Lee Hulse. Lee is the program manager for Bank on Wayne. Is that right?
That is correct.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for being with us.
Well, thank you for having me.
It's been almost a year since you've been with us.
It is.
And I just need to find out what is, because I forgot. I can't remember. What's Bank on Wayne?
Well, I will be glad to tell you what we are and where we're going in 2015.
Okay.
Bank on Wayne is the adult financial literacy program in Wayne County.
Mm-hmm.
We were adopted by Literacy Connections of Wayne County in January of 2014, so we've been offering services for a year. We were developed by United Way because they saw a need to work our families in Wayne County toward financial stability and wanted a program to sort of address that issue. Bank on Wayne was initially developed to work unbanked citizens in Wayne County into mainstream financial services and to work underbanked people who do have a bank account but don't take advantage of the services they offer to take full advantage of what their banks can offer them. And that was the initial program plan for Bank on Wayne. After offering services for a year, we saw that that was very important and we wanted to continue doing that, but that there were other things that we needed to be doing. So we've expanded our program. We originally started with an 8-hour workshop offered in 4 sessions, 2 hours each. And then at the end of that, a participant would receive a certificate that would allow them to open a bank account. We're still doing that. Bank accounts are still very important if you're working toward financial stability.
Great.
However, we have found from our participants and from people we've surveyed in the community that there's a need for just general basic financial knowledge. How to get and manage credit, how to create a budget, set financial goals, that there are so many more issues than just whether someone has a bank account or not. So in 2015, in addition to the bank account workshops we're doing, we've brought in additional workshops. We're offering other programs that speak directly to the needs that we've seen from our surveys. We're bringing in more guest speakers. Every month we'll have a new guest speaker to address a specific issue. For instance, last week we had Aletta Taylor, who's a tax preparer, come in and do a tax workshop. She spent a lot of time talking about the changes with the ACA, the Affordable Health Care. It's a great forum for people to ask questions. I sat through the whole thing and still don't understand it, but it was a great forum for people who want to prepare their own taxes. In March, we have 2 ladies coming to talk about first-time home ownership and preparing for that.
Right.
So those are the kinds of workshops we're going to bring in 2015.
Okay. Time. Now, let me ask you a couple of questions. Okay.
I want to do all the talking.
No. You did great. You did great. Let's just go back to the beginning here. I was talking with a guy this morning about the program, the Bank on Wayne. He was asking me what it was, and I was explaining to him that there are actually people who do not understand banking. They do not know how to write a check. They do not know how to open a bank account. He could not believe that. These are actually adult people who, for whatever reason, don't understand it. And these are people who might be from any walk of life.
Yes, definitely.
And but there may be just something that blocks their ability to do this. Now, how do you approach that? They come to you and they say, "Look, I need help here." What do you tell them? How do you start?
If they're interested in opening an account, the first thing is to talk to them about why that's important. You know, there are people who just don't understand that it could be important if they're working toward financial stability, that if they have to go to a business to pay to have their checks cashed, you know, that they're paying more money to have their checks cashed than they might be paying a monthly fee to a bank just to have a bank account.
Right.
If they work for a company that requires direct deposit, they're having to pay to have their money loaded into a prepaid card, and then there are fees associated with that. And usually, not always, but usually those fees are more expensive. If they want to take out a car loan, they don't have a relationship with the bank. They don't have anything, a payment history, a credit history to show for that. So it can make some things very, very difficult.
Do you find that this is along the same lines as people who have difficulty reading?
Amanda, in just a few minutes, will share with you some of the statistics for literacy rates in our county, but they are very closely aligned. A little over 10% of citizens in Wayne County do not own bank accounts, and that is very closely aligned with the literacy rates.
Wow.
But an additional 23% have an account, but still depend on check cashing services and rent-to-own businesses and pawn shops to take care of their daily financial needs.
Wait a minute. 1 out of 4 people in Wayne County? Really?
Really.
Almost 1 out of 4 people in Wayne County use a service. My goodness.
Instead of writing a check, they'll do a money order, or they'll still go from place to place to pay their bills. And so even though they do have that account, they're not taking advantage of what it could offer them.
Are people hesitant to use your service because they think, well, now I should know this stuff, and I'm embarrassed to go in and ask about it? Or
We do get a little bit of that, but one thing that's very positive about Literacy Connections, all of our services are confidential and they're all free. So someone can come in and ask any questions that they need to and know that they have that confidentiality in place. And you know, it's a lot to know, and it's not really taught anywhere anymore. You know, if your parents didn't use a bank account and didn't teach you how to balance your checkbook, and you didn't get it in school along the way, then you don't know, and it is a complicated process. And so this just breaks it down in very simple, understandable steps.
I think it's a great program, Lee. Let's put your name. Your name is up on the screen right now, along with the phone number, and we want people to give you a call and talk to you about this. And you're revamping your website, so that'll be up soon.
Yes.
But through Literacy Connections of Wayne County, Bank on Wayne is at 919-735-1990, right?
That's correct. And one thing I would like to mention when we're talking about bank accounts, for someone that is interested in opening a starter account, once they've completed the program, there are 3 institutions in Wayne County working with us, BB&T, PNC, and the Community Federal Credit Union. However, I think most banks now do have a good starter, low-cost, low-maintenance account, you know, that certainly go in and have a conversation.
All right, and one last question. Is there anyone who would not be able to use your services?
Now, our services are open to anyone. Now, there are people who would be excluded from opening an account, and that would be someone that's in the checks systems, that has the negative history with banking, that is related to fraud. Most banks will work with someone in the checks system if they complete some sort of program and they've paid off whatever debt associated with that bad history. But if it's because of fraud, then that's a
that wouldn't count. Well, I'll tell you what I was saying. I was thinking of perhaps an older person whose spouse did all of their shopping and did all of the banking and the checking, and the other spouse did nothing at all in that regard, and now all of a sudden there's a spouse that's passed away, and this person is left not knowing how to do anything, and even an older person could help you.
Oh, yes, definitely. Be a perfect program.
735-1990 in Wayne County. Lee Hulse, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Have you heard what's happening at the Partnership for Children of Wayne County? Well, joining me in the studio today is Charlie Ivey. He's the Executive Director of the Partnership for Children, and he is here to talk about early literacy initiative. Boy, that's a mouthful.
It is that, and we're really excited, Kim, about what's we're working with the program. We had several agencies in the community helping to promote early literacy.
See, I started something
there
here.
you go, for young kids in our community.
So you've got a program started. Who do you partner with?
Well, there are several groups and agencies. Dr. Dave Talo from the Goldsboro Pediatrics was the impetus behind this movement. Last year he grew concerned about some of the statistics that were coming out of public education, saying that 3rd and 4th graders were not reading proficiently at that level. And so he had contacted the county schools and found out that our local scores reflected those at the national level, which said over half the students at 3rd grade were not reading proficiently. Oh, for low-income students, that figure went up as high as 80%. And once again, these figures were duplicated here in Wayne County. So he brought several of us together Many of the groups that were involved in the growth and development of our children, including the health department, wages or Head Start,
Yes.
The Wayne Memorial Hospital, the health department, the public library, to brainstorm things that we could do to help improve our students before they got to school. We all know that many of our students, and this is what the schools were saying, and as a former principal, I knew
Yes.
that many of our students came to school unprepared to begin the learning process. We all know that learning begins at birth,
Right.
and so we were trying to see with those groups what could be done.
So this is how the program was evolved, the early literacy initiative.
We've been meeting on an irregular basis for about 6 months. And looking at the research, much of the research we already knew, those of us involved in early childhood. First of all, and the key thing is that brains are built, they are not born. The child's first 2 years is very, very critical in brain development. Neural connections in the brain are constantly being made and destroyed during those first 2 years. The more connections, the better the brain is able to process information. So one of the things which we are looking at is how to promote brain development for kids before they start school.
So before they're 4 years old.
Before they're 4-year-olds. As you well know, the partnership has a program through the state Smart Start organization called 2,000 Days. There are approximately 2,000 days between the time a child is born and they begin kindergarten. We consider those 2,000 days critical to the development of a child because so much can be gained or lost during that time. And it's up to parents and child care providers before they start school to assist in that brain development.
So, Charlie, give us some tips or some recommendations of some things that young parents or parents in general can do to enhance their child's.
That's exactly what we're where we're headed. We live in an electronic age.
Yes, we do.
TV has always been an issue as long as we have been. But in the last 2 decades, with the development of cell phones, iPads, computers, kids are bombarded with electronic media. First and foremost, all the researchers say is turn the electronics off.
Completely?
No, not necessarily completely. The recommendations from the American Pediatric Association that Dr. Taylor is a part of is to limit it to 2 hours total a day.
Okay.
For that, kids from birth to 2, absolutely none.
Wow.
Believe it or not.
Okay.
But by turning the electronics off, it allows parents and children a chance to talk to each other. Verbal communication is very, very important.
So you're saying for the parent to talk to the child on a regular basis?
The parent and the child care provider to have face-to-face, one-on-one conversation with the child. It's amazing. Some children hear 10 times as many words than other children. It's estimated that by the time a child is 3 years old, children born in poverty hear 30 million less words than children in homes where there's 2 parents available and that there's constant voice-to-voice communication.
Right.
This hearing oral communication tremendously increases the child's vocabulary.
So, Charlie, it could be something as simple as the mother's gone to the grocery store and brings the child, and instead of the mother checking off her list and not talking or communicating with the child at all, to incorporate things to do in the grocery store.
I saw a tremendous public service announcement. I think it was done by United Way.
I think I know which one you're talking about.
20 years ago. A child is with his mother in the grocery store, and she asked him, "Where are all the red things?" And they point out tomatoes, they point out apples, they point out red labels on cans. So this is the type of communication that is very, very helpful for a child.
So just talking about your everyday
life experiences.
That works.
Going to the laundry, going to the grocery store, going down, even when you're walking the dog, looking
Right.
around you, increasing that vocabulary in any way possible.
Well, I saw a cute one you're talking about those little commercials or anything like that, and it's something as simple as a mom talking to a child while she's doing laundry,
Right.
and she pulls out a pair of pants and says, "Where do these pants go? Do they go on my head? Do they go on my arm? Where do they go?"
Exactly.
And it's just having dialogue with the child.
You know, over, under,
Exactly.
around, those type of words a child needs to hear.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Another very important strategy is to read to your child.
Of course.
It's amazing the number of kids we see at the partnership that have never had access to a book. Once again, the research shows that kids who are read to from day one, from birth, they cannot understand the written word, but they have access to books. They hear the parent's voice. They associate the voice with the word.
Right.
Excuse me, the word with the picture, and then the word with the voice. So reading to a child a minimum of 15 minutes every day from the time a child is born to the time they go to kindergarten makes all the difference in the world.
Wow. And that is an easy fix.
Yes.
15 minutes a day spend reading. You know, a parent could do that before they put their child in bed, after a bath or whatever, you know, just sitting there, or have mom and dad take turns doing it. Whenever you can fit it in your
It's
day.
a wonderful strategy, and not only does it increases the vocabulary, but one of the things we noted in elementary school, just the association with the book. Where does the book begin? Where's the book end? We read from left to right.
Exactly.
All those strategies are very key, and if the child comes to school with those strategies, they start ahead.
That's right. The front of the book, the back of the book.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Where's the author? Where's the pictures? Do you see a big word? Do you see a little word? Those type of things can be done very simply by any parent.
And you know, a lot of times I think we as parents and grandparents take those things for granted.
Yes,
that
yes,
a
we
child
do.
will just figure it out, or they'll just learn it when they get to school. But if they don't learn it until they get to school, they're already behind the eight ball.
They're behind their classmates is
Right.
what they are. And what the research has shown is, and this is regrettable, we have a big concern about this at the partnership, students that start behind stay behind.
Right, that's unfortunate.
It is very hard to keep them up. The research has shown also that these early literacy projects, even the funds put into early literacy, pay off tremendously in the long run, because there is less remediation, because there is less attention to trying to catch up. Even post-school, the kids who have started out behind, who lack the necessary skills to succeed, are the ones that fall victim to drug and alcohol abuse. They're the ones that are having to be served by the criminal justice system. So investment in our youth, both by parents and by the society, pays off big time in the long run.
Well, where can parents find out more information about this program?
Good question, and that is one of the very important things about the partnership. Come to the partnership. We can help you help your child. We have a wonderful resource, Kim, with the lending library.
Yes, absolutely.
We have books, games, toys that can be interactive between parent and child. They will guide you ways in which you can work with your child to increase the vocabulary, to create better physical dexterity. All kinds of skills are so important
Your large
when they
motor
start
skills,
school.
your small motor skills, all of that. And the partnership has so many programs that if you just walk in that door, with your child, you will go back time and time again. And the lending library is such a hidden gem.
Well, let me tell you about the lending library a little bit more. As I said, hundreds of books and hundreds of toys. There's a nominal $10 a year charge. You can check out 5 to 10 items for every month, bring them back, check out 5 to 10 more. A wonderful resource. But this is just the surface. We have individuals, program specialists that will work with you to give you hints, to give you suggestions to how to work with your child. We have special programs with that help work with parents, to work with child care providers, to help train them to serve their children.
Oh, there's so many programs, and they can see a lot of this if they just go to your website.
Exactly.
pfcw.org.
That's where we are. They can find out what we do, who we are. We are located on William Street here in Goldsboro, and welcome all of our parents and child care providers.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Charlie, for coming in. We appreciate always when the partnership comes in and shares your story, because you're always thinking and talking about how parents can help children.
That is our mission, helping parents and child care providers make the best use of these first 2,000 days.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, and that's what's happening right here at the Partnership for Children of Wayne County.
All right, we are back.
Mr. Charlie Ivey always does a good job of keeping us informed.
Yes, he does.
Yes, he
Yes,
does.
he does. All right.
Reminding everyone about Majesty Rose having a concert at the Paramount Theater, her very first concert of our very own Goldsboro's American Idol Top 10. Woo-hoo. Yes, you know, she went on tour with American Idol, and I think they went to over 40 states or 40 cities. I'm not sure which one she told me. Maybe it was 40 cities.
May have been.
Maybe, I believe it was.
Yeah, I don't think she went to 40. She could have gone to 40 states.
Yeah, because they did it through the summer, so I believe it was 40 cities.
Probably 40 cities, yeah.
But she's having her very first concert, solo concert, right here in Goldsboro on Thursday, February the 12th, 7 o'clock p.m. at the Paramount Theater. You can get your tickets. They're only $10 each by calling the Goldsboro Paramount or looking at online, goldsboroparamount.com. Love to have you there to support our very own Majesty Rose.
Oh, boy. Boy, she's good. All right, it's time to take a look at odd jobs.
Uh-oh.
I have more odd job titles, and these are real jobs now. These are
tell us what they are.
Arkwright.
Arkwright?
Arkwright. A-R-K-W-R-I-G-H-T is a maker of arcs.
Of course.
In this case, we're not talking about a
Noah's
boat.
Ark.
We're not talking about your boat. We're talking about wooden chests or coffers or things like that. Those are arcs, wooden chests. Another one is a redsmith.
Okay. It's like a blacksmith?
Like a blacksmith. Blacksmith, of course, works with iron.
Right.
And a redsmith works with copper.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Okay, I did
It's a
not know
redsmith,
that.
That's right.
I learned something new today.
I'm telling you.
Thank you.
You're quite welcome. At your service, ma'am. Goldsmith and silversmith, people have heard of them.
Right.
Paul Revere was a silversmith.
Okay.
Goldsmith, Harry Goldsmith, I remember him, but I don't know if he worked with gold. But redsmith works with copper.
Copper.
And then there's one more.
Okay.
A knacker.
Knacker?
Knacker, one who knacks.
That's the kind of like snacks?
Well, it sounds like it. Knacker is a harness maker.
Oh, wow, okay.
One who makes harnesses. It's knacker, K-N-A-C-K-E-R.
What type of harness? Do we know?
Those that are made by knackers.
There you go.
Those are the harnesses.
Like for a horse or?
Oh, yeah, right, yeah.
We're assuming that's what it is?
I would guess, yeah.
One would think.
I would have to guess, because my dogs don't like harnesses. No. Nor do my cats or my birds.
I hear you.
I tried it on the bird once.
Didn't go over so well?
Didn't go over well. No, he bit me.
Well, that's expected.
Yeah, it's expected. Okay. Let's see what else we have here.
Oh, well, the Stage Struck, the Young People's Own Theater, will be putting on a fantastic, very well-known production of Les Mis. It's the school edition.
Oh, really? Oh, the school edition.
Yes, the print's so small, I have to put my glasses on. It is Thursday, February the 26th, then the 27th, and the 28th.
Wow.
It'll be Thursday through Sunday. It is all put on by young folks in our community that have been a part of Stage Struck, and they had to audition and go through the whole process, and they've had a month or two of rehearsing. Les Mis is a pretty deep production to put on with young people. Well, of course, it is the school edition, so it is edited, and it's, of course, quite a bit shorter. But it still covers a lot of the very intricate, conflicting topics that, if you've seen the show, you know. Yeah. So think about going to Les Mis to support our local youth, put on by Stage Struck. You can go to, I think it's stagestruck.org is their website to find out more about it, but you can also just call the Goldsboro Paramount and they can give you information about tickets. What you thinking?
The phone number.
I'm scared to try it.
583-8.
Oh, at the Paramount, you mean?
234.
Let's
432.
see.
432.
Can you see that?
8432, yeah. It's
Did you get it right?
583-8432. Thank you. Thank you.
Very good.
I'll be here all week, ladies and gentlemen. Try the wheel. All right. Alan Aldous having a birthday today. He is 79. Alan Aldous.
Wow, MASH.
79. Can you believe that?
My goodness.
Yeah. Also a birthday today for Susan Howard. She was in Sidewinder 1, The Power Within, and she was in Dallas. She is 71 today. Martha Keller, the actress, Young Catherine, Nightmare Years, The Amateur, Black Sunday, Marathon Man. She is 70. Mikhail Baryshnikov.
That's
all right. He's 67 today. Boy, he can dance, or he could. He's
Yes, he
67
certainly could.
now.
One of the best dancers I've ever seen.
A defector. He was, of course, he was born in Russia.
Yes.
And he is 67 today. And Elijah Wood, young actor,
Yes.
child actor, Lord of the Rings,
Uh-huh.
and Flipper, and North, and Radio Flyer, bunch of other stuff.
He's done quite well for
He's
himself.
done very well.
How
for
old
himself.
is he?
34.
Really?
He is that tall.
I mean, really?
That, well, okay, maybe that tall. Okay. Anyway.
Wow.
He just
Good for him.
Yeah, 34. I can't believe that.
Have you seen Lord of the Rings?
Well, no, I haven't.
Well, you know, I had not either.
I'm waiting for the book.
Oh, well.
No, wait a minute.
No, the book came out first.
Oh, yeah.
I saw the first one
Yeah.
years ago when it first came out. I haven't seen another one since. Recently, I have seen all of the rest, and with a friend of mine,
Yeah.
and the other piece of that puzzle that goes to it is The Hobbit.
Right.
I think that all that happened before Lord of the Rings, so
It did.
you're kind of seeing them in a
did.
backwards format,
Right.
and now seeing all of those. A person who was really not interested in any of that
Yes.
now has seen it all.
You've seen it all now.
Seen it all, to say the least.
I know J.R.R. Tolkien is happy. He is a happy man now.
I found it interesting, a little bit unusual, fantasy-landish.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
But it was interesting. Had a
Okay.
good storyline.
And on that note, on that storyline, we're just going to depart
I think
this
so.
program today. And so we'll ask you to join us again tomorrow. Tomorrow being Thursday, we'll be right here. Hope you're right there to join us for Wayne Goldsboro Television. Until then, I'm Wayne Alley.
And I'm Kim Best, and this is what's happening in your community.